Imagine the acrid sting of coal smoke clawing at your lungs on a sweltering Cleveland afternoon in 1859 as a gangly 19-year-old, with ink-stained fingers and a ledger as unyielding gaze John Davison. Rockefeller steps from the shadows of a cramped commission house, his boots caked in the mud of Euclid Avenue's bustling chaos. The air hums with the frantic clatter of horse-drawn wagons hauling barrels that reek of kerosene, sharp promise. A black elixir birthed from Pennsylvania's wild gushers, lighting the lamps of a nation teetering on the brink of industrial frenzy. Young John isn't chasing gold yet. He's tallying bushels of grain for a boss who sneers at his pious precision. But deep in his chest, forged by Sunday sermons that thundered hellfire and thrift as salvation, a relentless fire smolders. His father, Big Bill, a wandering charlatan peddling snake oil and scandal, left scars of shame absences that carved a boy's heart into iron vows of self-denial and dominion. What if this quiet Baptist, raised on hymns of frugality and the devil's wages of waste, could harness that oily tide, bend it to his will, and drown rivals in its flood? Clench your fists with me because John D. Rockefeller's ascent isn't a polished parable of piety and profit. It's just a gut-wrenching maelstrom of whispered pacts. Shattered dreams and a fortune so colossal it warps. Time itself a shadow that eclipses even today's titans, revealing the savage underbelly of America's Gilded Dawn where faith fueled ferocity, and mercy was the first casualty. From the frostbitten cradle of Richford, New York, on July 8, 1839, John emerged into a world of want, the second of six to Eliza Davison, a devout Baptist whose whispered prayers and spotless linens were the hearth against Big Bill's tempests, his flings, frauds, and flights that left Elisa scrubbing floors to feed her flock. Young John absorbed her creed like gospel. A penny saved was a penny sanctified, idleness the devil's playground, every transaction a test from on high. By 1853, the family fled Cleveland's grip for the city's clamor, 14-year-old. John quitting school for the docks, his first wage, 50 cents a day as an errand boy at Hewitt and Tuttle's produce house, where he learned the ledger's cold arithmetic under gas lamps that flickered like fleeting hopes. Mornings dawned with Bible study, evenings with fervent prayer meetings where his voice rose in trembling zeal, but beneath the hymns lurked a hunger sharpened by poverty's bite. At 16, he clawed into bookkeeper's ink for Clark and Rockefeller, a modest commission firm with brother William, tallying oats and pork with a precision that masked the storm within every imbalance a wound, every surplus a divine nod. By 1859, oil erupted from Titusville's soil like black blood from the earth's veins, kerosene's glow banishing whale oil's wane. And John, ever the sentinel, scented opportunity amid the frenzy. He poured $4,000 scraped from savings and Eliza's iron will into a refinery with Morris B. Clark, the Excelsior Works rising on a creek bed in 1860, its stills belching flames that lit his path from clerk to king. But glory's forge demanded blood. The Civil War's thunder masked their early stumbles, fires devouring stills, markets crashing like thunderclaps, but John's Baptist backbone bent without breaking, his ledgers a lifeline through the blaze. He married Laura Celesta Seti Spellman in 1864, a schoolteacher from Ohio. Moral stock whose quiet grace and shared faith wove a tapestry of tenderness amid the turmoil. Their first Bessie arrived in 1866, a fragile light in the refinery's roar. Seti's lullabies drowning the hammer's clang as John paced nights, haunted by visions of expansion or ruin. By 1865, he bought out Clark for $72,500, renaming it simply Standard Oil. Standard not for mediocrity, but unyielding quality, a vow etched in his soul. He innovated ruthlessly, vertical chains from well to wick, pipelines snaking like serpents to slash freight costs, chemists tweaking yields to wring every drop from crude's curse. Yet the ascent twisted cruel, secret rebates from railroads like the Erie, forged in smoke-filled cars where John's unblinking stare sealed pacts that starved independence, fares hiked for foes, rebates ballooning for his fleet. A web that ensnared 22 of Cleveland, 2 of refineries by 1872. The Cleveland Massacre it was dubbed, a bloodless coup where rivals awoke to ruin. Their pleas met with John Isay calculus. The growth of a large business is merely a survival of the fittest. Tears stained boardroom tables as families crumbled, but John's heart, armored by sermons of stewardship, saw only Providence oil as God's bounty to be husbanded, not squandered. By 1877, Standard's shadow swallowed 90% of America's refining might, a colossus spanning continents. Its South Improvement Company scheme of 1872, a brazen bid for producer packs that ignited riots in Oil Creek-S valleys, torch-wielding independents howling betrayal as pipelines bypassed their wells. John's fortress in Cleveland's Standard Building gleamed like a cathedral of commerce, but isolation gnawed. SETI bore the brunt, raising Bessie, Alta, Edith, and John Jr. in a home of Spartan elegance. No extravagance. Birthdays marked by simple cakes, while his absences stretched like wounds, her letters pleading for presents amid the children's fevers and his fevered pursuits. Faith anchored them. Sunday suppers laced with grace, tithes that swelled to millions, John's ledger noting every cent as covenant kept. Yet the empire's hunger devoured light 1882's trust, a hydra of 41 corporations veiled in New Jersey charters, evading antitrust whispers, birthing a monopoly that dictated prices from Pittsburgh to Paris. Profits cascaded, $40 million in 1885 alone, John's stake ballooning to $200 million by 1890, a sum that dwarfed nations. He dined on graham crackers and milk, slept 6 hours, his body a vessel for the vision. But nights brought phantoms' rival cries echoing like indictments, the weight of dominion pressing like original sin. The storm broke in 1890 with the Sherman Act's blade, a federal vow to slay trusts. But John parried with lawyers' shields, Standard's tendrils too entrenched. Then came Ida Tarbell, the serpent in his garden, a journalist whose father's Oil Creek ruin fueled her quill. Her 1902, McCloris exposed a scalpel dissecting rebates as robbery. The trust as tyranny, serialized fury that seared the nation's conscience. John's image fractured. The pious provider pilloried as predator. Cartoons caricaturing him as an octopus strangling Lady Liberty, public revulsion swelling like bile. He retreated to Pocantico Hill's 3,500-acre estate in 1893, golf and philanthropy his cloaks, but the gash deepened. Edith's 1901 death at 33, from typhoid a dagger to the soul. SETI's stoic vigil the only balm as John's hair silvered under grief's crush. Trials mounted. Ohio suits in 1892. Federal probes by 1906 under Teddy Roosevelt's Bull Moose charge. The 1909 Circuit Court decree branding Standard illegal. Appealed to the Supreme Court where Brandeis thundered against Morganization. On May 15, 1911, the gavel fell. Standard splintered into 34 shards. Exxon, Mobil, Chevron's seeds. A divestiture that freed competitors, but minted Rockefeller's wealth anew. Shares soaring to $900 million by 1913, adjusted to $418 billion today, eclipsing Bezos' $200 billion, Musk's $250 billion. A ghost richer than all modern moguls combined, his 2% stake in the progeny a perpetual dividend of dominance. In twilight's hush, John turned sword to plowshare his Baptist core convulsing into creation. $80 million to the University of Chicago in 1889, birthing a beacon from Swanland. The Rockefeller Institute in 1901, eradicating hookworm's scourge. The Foundation in 1913, a $100 million arc against disease funding yellow fever's conquest and public health's dawn. SETI's 1915 passing hollowed him further her hand in his through scandals. Storm, but John endured doling dimes to golf caddies till 97, his final breath on. May 23, 1937, a whisper of thank God amid the hum of machines his mind had wrought. His legacy? A fortune that reshaped medicine and might, but scarred by the independents' graves. The workers' strikes crushed under Pinkerton's boots in 1914 Ludlow's massacre. Echoes of empire's cost that whisper through boardrooms still. John D. Rockefeller's Odyssey, from hymn-haunted boy to oil's unyielding oracle, unveils America's fractured forge, where piety birthed predation, innovation ignited infernos, and wealth's weight bent the world. His adjusted billions mock today's barons, a testament to unchecked ascent's allure and antitrust's ache. These chronicles of conquest and conscience, do they not stir the embers in your own unquenched drive? If Rockefeller's relentless rhythm resonates, breathe deep and subscribe. Together, we'll trace the trails where history's hungers still howl. Next, the powder keg that propelled dynasties through war's whirlwind. Eleuthère Irénée DuPont, exile-born gunpowder empire. From French revolutionary flames to a chemical colossus guarded by trusts that defy time. What ruthless edge would you wield in Fortune's forge? Confide in the comments, we're all alchemists here.